Greetings everyone, my name is Vile, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Man Maker. During the last part, I covered 5 viewer-submitted levels, so in this part, I'll be covering at least 5 more viewer-submitted levels, starting up with this one, Frozen Attraction by Meccirius, 21 plays and a score of 5. As always, if you want one of your levels to be featured in a part like this one, please leave the level name and level ID in the comment section below, or direct message me on Twitter. Also, as always, the full disclaimer of this entire LP series is linked in the description below. Also, as always, in the description below are the timestamps for every level that I cover. Alright, this level combines usage of the conveyor belts, magnets, and spikes, so we're better off using stuff like the Thunder Beam and Shine in several scenarios. We also have ice physics, but at the very least, unlike Meccirius' 2 previous ice levels, this takes place outdoors instead of indoors. And we're also introducing the Camosa burrows and spines. If you're wondering what happened with that jump cut, I had to take care of something off screen. So let's see how difficult this stage will be. Honestly, introducing those flies in a safer environment would be a better option. Having it in an enclosed space over here would be more problematic. Now we're introducing the magnets. Now, Meccirius did mention in their submission text to be careful about the magnets as well as conveyor belts because they mess up your movement. At the very least, I have stuff like the charge shot in order to make things easier, and I can see why Meccirius mentioned to use stuff like our special weaponry, because several scenarios like facing enemies here would be a lot more of a nuisance if we're doing it buster only, stuff like these techs, or the beaks. Actually, I think they're screw bombers. Yeah, screw bombers, not techs or beaks. Also scenarios like this one with all of these flying shells. And we gotta be a bit careful here because we can get pulled by the magnet into the spikes. What I would like though is the Mega Man 5 charge shot, otherwise hitting stuff like those beaks are really difficult with the Mega Man 4 charge shot. Now we have this cat, or Tama. Let's take care of it using the Gemini laser. Wow, apparently the Gemini laser can just two-shot those enemies. Those being the Sniper Joes. Thank goodness there's a checkpoint here. Although, I would suggest not putting a fly enemy right over here. But that was a bit strange. Instead, put it... because I usually believe that checkpoints should be in relatively safe environments. Putting a fly over there to ambush you isn't really the best option. A key as well as Yoku blocks everywhere. And there I jump into the pit because I made a mistake with the positioning and timing. At the very least, it wasn't too far back, and I have stuff like item 2 to make things a bit easier. I'll wait. That was a bit too close there. Can now get the key, jump over here, time it properly. That's gonna be a bit of a tight squeeze. Let's use this and jump across. I jumped on a Yoku block because I wasn't sure I was gonna make the jump. Well, now I have a key, I just need to know where to use it, and whether it's optional or not. I hope it's optional. Item 2 time. And there's an invisible ceiling, unfortunately. Well, we get a free tank for our troubles, so it was worth it. And we can deal with these Sniper Joes more easily because of the air shooter's arc. which I do approve of. In fact, it also makes dealing with these beaks a lot easier. I mean screw bombers, my apologies. I'm just gonna use the Thunder Beam over here and deal with this Kumosaburo, and jump up over here. Ah, and this is where we have to use the key. And by doing so, we get access to the gravity hold. This was definitely well worth it. And I suppose it's the boss's weakness, that being Magnet Man. I'm gonna wait over here and see what horrors belie us. There we go, that's how we skip the challenge on the left side. If we really needed life energy, I'd go for it. And at the very least, there's a good checkpoint placement here. So let's restart this checkpoint because I want full health. Two pathways. Nope, just one pathway. Took a modest amount of damage, but I'll still push onwards. I won't go for it, it's too risky. This even one-shots the Kumosaburo, so the Gemini laser has been really buffed from its original incarnation. Oh no. I have to keep holding down here, and I also have to worry about ice physics. Yikes, that was too scary. I need to keep holding down my controller, otherwise I'll get impaled into spikes, and I held right too much there. Like I said, at least the checkpoint placement isn't too bad. It's close enough to where I last died, so it's fine. This stage is certainly more on the challenging side, it feels like a fortress level. But it isn't too bad either, mainly because we have all the special weaponry we need, and it feels less annoying than Meccirius' previous stage. What I am worried about are these challenges, specifically with these magflies. Oh, I always worry about getting impaled in the spikes there because of the positioning. I need to keep holding down, go right, and the flies respawning do not help matters whatsoever. It just feels so finicky being on these magflies. Then again, it may be due to my inexperience with them in this engine. There's something up here, I think. And my prize for taking the upper route is life energy. Well, I do approve of the fact that the more difficult routes have more rewards like unlockable weaponry. What I would like is more checkpoints though, especially for these more risky routes. Well, that's one way of circumventing the challenge. Thank you for giving me access to the Ice Slasher. What's on the right there, though? Nothing. Well, I need to go there in order to access this normally, but I have item 2, so I'll use that instead. I would prefer the Rush Coil or Rush Jet, but this works. That's a bit of a tight jump there. So to make matters a bit easy, I'll just take care of these enemies first. Now I can see why Meccirius warned me about the conveyor belts as well as magnets. These are pulling me all over the place. At last, the next checkpoint. I would have preferred one more just to be safe, but I guess this is following the classic Mega Man tradition. And I have ample opportunities to damage boost. Wait a minute. Well, that's a minor glitch. Those fleas aren't being frozen, even if I freeze them. They don't stop moving. Well, I got kind of ambushed there. That was a bit scary. Okay, that doesn't infinitely respawn, that's good. At the very least, we're at the boss door. This stage felt shorter than Meccirius' previous level, although that may be due to me dying less. Although I still have one key left, so I guess the stage will still stretch on for a bit longer. I guess I missed a key door somewhere. His weakness is, of course, Die Slasher. And it pierces right through his magnetic ability. Several other special weapons don't pierce through his magnetic pull ability, which means that if they're his weakness, you have to wait for him to stop his magnetic pull ability. Well, I did like your stage, so I'll give it a thumbs up. It's a 6 out of 10. Although I would like some more checkpoints, and maybe a bit of a smoother difficulty curve, because some of those areas with the magflies, spikes, and magnets were a bit hair-raising. Still, decent work, Meccirius. It was sufficiently challenging and it felt mostly fair. Second level on the lineup is Mount Shasta Mining Facility by LizardCommando, 11 plays and a score of 3. Let's see how this level fares. Some days recording new episodes for Mega Man Maker are easy, other times are much more difficult. This is one of those days, and it's due to outside circumstances, not the little creators. Mega Buster Rush Coil. Looking at the gap, I guess we're going to be unlocking a bunch of new special weapons. Or this is just going to be a traditional level. Hi there, Power Muscler. Bye, Power Muscler. Yep, this is an alternate route filled with lyrics and the spinning tops. Gotta be a bit careful so I don't fall off. And I guess this spinning top is my ride back. We gotta be a bit careful to not get knocked off of it. Now, if I accidentally fell on the spinning top, I'd either have to repeat this segment or take a forced death for falling into a pit and having no way to get back. After all, I don't have the rush jet, and then I'd be forced to repeat the entire segment as well, mainly because the ring boomerang wouldn't save. So we have 2 or 3 more of these special weapons to collect as well, so I better keep an eye out. You may also recognize the name LizardCommando from Magmel 2. They were the creator of the enemy spammy stage Super Mario Bros. 3. Although this is probably not going to be as enemy spammy. They assured me of that in their submission text. Let's go left. Either one of the routes is probably going to be the mandatory, or it's going to have the extra weapon. This is really hair-raising though, especially for how precise these platforms can be. Oh, and we get the air shooter. Now I need to get back and survive. Easier said than done, especially because of how much damage these presses do per hit. Especially in segments like this. Thankfully I can aim almost directly upwards using the air shooter. Now I need to hit another checkpoint and survive, otherwise I'll have to repeat this segment again. At least these checkpoints or segments are optional, so I'm not complaining too much. That was way too close. I thought I was gonna fall into the pit there for missing my jump or bonk my head against the ceiling. I gotta be careful here so I don't end up falling into the ceiling or getting crushed against the ceiling. And I survive. Oh, thank goodness, there's a checkpoint right over here. I guess I'll be collecting 2 more optional special weaponry to make the stage a bit easier. Let's go to the right. Alternatively, let's see what's down here. I get the feeling this is the optional route because this is a lot more difficult, so I'll go for it. I wish there was a better sign indicating which route was optional. So the normal route is easier, but the optional routes are a lot more difficult in comparison. Fine with me. I just wish I could reactivate the checkpoints. That would be really nice. That ended up being a lot more my favorite than what I expected it to. Yoku block segment as well as batons and potons. Oh golly. I was half expecting to get ambushed by a potons randomly. Thankfully, these Yoku block segments are a lot easier than the ones in the previous level. Overall, this stage feels easier than the previous stage. And because I took the optional route, I made this hot dog encounter a lot less challenging. Makes sense. We have 1 more special weapon to unlock. The question is where? And the challenge progression is pretty nice as well, outside of the optional routes. But even the optional routes are getting slightly more challenging relative to each other. The first optional route was a lot easier than the third one. Although the second one I would say is the hardest. Even harder than the third one. I guess we don't unlock another special weapon. That's odd. And I suppose Crashman's weakness is the air shooter. If I could hit him with it. Yep, just like old time's sake. So that was the end of Mount Shasta Mining Facility. A pretty neat traditional level. Although by taking the optional routes you can get extra special weaponry, which I do approve of. It promotes skilled play, and if you're a skilled player and win those challenges, you get rewarded pretty well. Although having to go through them and backtrack can be quite hair-raising, especially for the second and third ones. Especially the second one. Also because the checkpoint doesn't save it, so you need to go to another checkpoint. So I'll definitely give it a thumbs up. Feel free to submit some of your future levels, LizardCommando. I like this one. Alright, third on the lineup is DJHN-002 Druid Woman by Jethawk74, 4 plays and a score of 0. I believe this is the re-uploaded / remade version of Druid Woman stage, also by Jethawk74. Although, because of the long length of Jethawk's stages, I think I'll only cover one of Jethawk's submissions in this part, followed by one by Skullman, and then I'll end off this part. It's getting long enough. I'll cover the rest of them in the next 2 parts, or 3 parts depending on how many new submissions are coming. I'm getting so many level submissions from viewers that I don't have time for the other parts, those focusing on the new queue, as well as random search terms, random levels, etc. I also want to eventually get to the MMLLCC or Mega Man Maker level competition levels. I really want to try them out. We also have a bunch of special weapons to make this stage a lot easier, thankfully. But I suppose this will be more of a traditional level. And I can see this level is, well, taking advantage of new assets of version 1.2. The original Druid Woman stage, I believe, was made before these came out, or before version 1.2 hit. And because Druid Woman is, of course, a druid, we're going to be having a nature/forest environment. It feels so nice to use the atomic fire as a makeshift shield. So nice. Oh, wow. How did I not make that jump? Oh, it's 3 or 4 squares and it's 1 elevated, no wonder. I should have just used the rush jitter rush coil there. Well, time to go through this quickly then. I have the dive missile, so I might as well use it. It was a jump like that one, that's why I died. I misunderstood or underestimated how far the jump was. The dive missile is so fun to use here. I mean, we get 28 shots with it, it's quite crazy for it to ask me. We have a whole bunch of other really powerful weaponry. In fact, I can do the rest of the stage up here if I really wanted to. Darn, I really would have liked that life energy. A checkpoint would be really nice over here. I'm not trusting those spike hitboxes, and I didn't really like that gotcha moment with the spikes there. Kinda bad form. At least there's a checkpoint right over here. Would have liked one a bit earlier. So far so good. This definitely nails the Druid nature environment. I didn't want to risk that jump there, sorry. I'm getting a little bit paranoid with some of these jumps. So far so good. Good checkpoint placement over there. That was my fault. I panicked a bit over there, and the minor pause when collecting the small life energy kind of pulled me off, or threw off my mojo. Once again, I wished for an option to disable the temporary pause. And now of course we have the Ratbots. I don't really trust myself with these jumps. Not 1 second. Of course, Shadow Man platforms make their appearance, as well as this foot holder. Yeah, I know, I'm cheesing this segment, but I'm going to take advantage of it as much as possible. At least the level creator gives us the option to cheese the stage if we really want to, so that's definitely a plus. This stage, if it was a traditional level, this would be on the harder side, and be a bit of a marathon level. Let's take the right route. And we also get a key for our efforts. Nice. So I chose wisely. You may also want to pull down on the gimmicks and shorten the stage. We really don't need that much gimmick usage for this type of level. I mean, now we have the crash lifts. And now we go into the water segment. However, if we got the key over there, which is super easy, or really easy, we get this alternate route instead, which allows us to probably skip that segment. Let's see, did we skip the segment? A bit of an enemy spam room over here, but it's relatively fine. Oh goody, I'm getting ambushed by everything. If I did this more slowly, it'd be fine. Of course I'm dying here. And lo and behold, I actually get a large life energy for once. Oh, and we get another key here. And an M-tank. Nice. Well, because I explored this pathway, I'm gonna restart the checkpoint and see what the other pathway leads up to. After all, that key was only used for the M-tank. So down we go. I'm not risking it for that life. So another plus of this stage having multiple pathways, although it feels like I'm playing through 2.5 length of a stage, aka this level feels like 2.5 times the traditional Mega Man length, in some ways 3 times. I don't mind it too much, but some other players or quite a few players may find it a bit problematic. That's why I would denote this as kind of a marathon level. And there's me failing to make the jump because I lost the block. Oh, and by taking the upper route, it's a lot shorter actually. Taking the key door route is longer, but we get a better reward. No checkpoint here either, but I guess it's at the boss door. So, I guess it was Druid Woman's stage. Pretty nice forest/nature based level, nice challenge progression, but boy, some of the later rooms can get super enemy spammy, really incentivizing you to use special weaponry, so it's kind of like a fortress level in that regard. Plus, I feel like the stage could be shortened by a third and it would still be fine. It started overutilizing gimmicks like by introducing crash lifts and such, at least for my own regard. If this is like a pure fortress level, it'd be fine with that. But still, it could be shortened by 10 or 15 screens. It's probably the atomic fire which is his weakness. Yep, time to use an M-tank. After all, fire burns down plants. He's super weak against it. So that was Druid Woman's stage. I already outlined my praises and problems with this stage, so... it's a 5.5 for me. I'll give it a thumbs up, although I'm a bit hesitant. Like I said, you could shorten the stage by 5 or 10 screens, and it'll feel more cohesive. Also, tone down the enemy spam in some of the later rooms. Fourth and final level of this part is Magnetizing Run-around by Vile the Maverick with 31 plays and a score of 8. Sorry for the mix-up earlier. I mentioned that this level is by Skullman. No, it's by Vile the Maverick. I say this is the fourth and final level because this part is stretching out for quite a while. I see why this is called Run-around, because we need to get a key in order to complete the stage. Oh, and we have item 3 for a change. The bouncy one. And a Mega Man 5 or 6 charge shot. Probably the 6th one. And here's the forced usage of item 3. Which makes sense in this context actually, because it's utilized pretty well. Now I can collect item 1 and get out of here. Plus, we actually have infinitely respawning tellies in case we run out. This feels like that segment in Wily 2 actually. I mean Wily 1 of Mega Man 2. Where we had to spawn all of those item 1 capsules, or utilities. I guess we go to the left. And we get item 2 for our efforts. You may want to fix that screen transition over there. I just walked into the abyss. I see, each room is blocked off conditionally, and each of these teleporters takes us to different challenge rooms. I see. At the very least, each of these challenge rooms has a checkpoint, befitting of the increased difficulty, so that's a plus. There we go. I kind of cheated by using item 2, but it really helped acting like a temporary stepping stone for the Magfly. Okay, on to the last challenge. And that was my jump button failing to register. I pressed on it 2 times. Still a minor quibble because there's a checkpoint right over here. This challenge felt easier than the last one, actually. Bit of force weapon usage here, but I'm okay with it. Well, this is a neat way of finding the Tama on these bouncy areas. That's a neat new spin to this encounter. And apparently this place is run by Dr. Kozak for some reason. And we then use the Magfly to ride over that pit. Now we need to fight this hot dog. At least it's placed somewhere where it is going to be a threat. Oh, and we're forced to use the brick drop as well as the Gemini laser. This is going to be a bit more difficult than you would usually think because you need to position it just right. You can see the problem here. I'll take another go at it. I ran too far to the left. That was my fault. And this stage is fun. I'd say it's one of my favorite levels of this part, actually. This is how you're supposed to do it. And I was foolish for not understanding how it worked. My apologies. Lo and behold, we get out to the upper route, get back down over here, and unlock this door. So let me restart at this checkpoint over here, and fight the boss. We kind of looked around the level, and I liked each of those key doors or separated one-room challenges. Time to fight Magnet Man. It's probably the Gemini laser. When he stops using his magnetic traction attack. At the very least, it's easier to dodge than his missiles. So, like I said, I really liked it. At least a 6 or 6.5 out of 10. Although you may want to fix that one issue in one of those challenge rooms where I was able to walk off screen and fall to the abyss. I'd say, overall, out of the 4 levels I played in this part, this being Magnetizing Run-around as well as Mount Shasta Mining Facility are my 2 favorite levels of this part. So in the next part, I'll be covering a bunch more viewer submitted levels. Well then, thanks for watching and have a nice day. Toodles!